everyone, this is another episode of Iva in the Kitchen, and today we're making cheese pies. They're fluffy, they're soft, they're cheesy, and they go with absolutely everything, so stay tuned. So for the filling, we need about 30 minutes for the filling to stay in the fridge, so we're gonna start with it. I'm using two different types of feta. I'm using a hard feta and a soft feta. This is the product that I find in Poland. For the new subscribers, I live in Poland, in Wrocław. So two different types of feta. Then I'm gonna be using some ground black pepper and some mint. I just chopped some mint here. You can also use parsley, any green that's aromatic. My grandma used to use mint. Somehow it goes very well with feta. So let's start. If you have only one type of feta, it's also fine. The reason that I am actually using this is because we have different sharpness. This is more salty and harder in taste, and the other one is more creamy. So I'm gonna be using half of the hard feta and half of the soft feta. Well, I presume that if you want it to be more cheesy, even a little bit more, it will be all fine. The black pepper gives it a spiciness and a kick, so I really like it as well. And mint gives them freshness, so it's all in. And now try to break it and make it as a filling. As I'm always saying, the price of the whole plate, it's going to give you about 15 pieces of cheese pies, depending the size, from 15 to 20. And for all of the things that I bought, excluding the olive oil, I paid about 25 zloty, which I will give you next to me the acquisition to euros and dollars. Okay, so try to break it in chunks. You can leave it because this one is going to melt later on as well. So you could see we have more feta than mint ratio. And this one is going to go straight to the fridge for half an hour. Alright, so we left the filling in the fridge and now we go with our dough. Now for the dough, you will need 1 egg. I have here a second egg because you would need the egg yolk for the top before we bake it. So 1 egg, full egg. Then you will need to put 1 glass of milk, half glass of olive oil, and then I will be using a teaspoon, 1 teaspoon of, so basically here I have from Greece some sea salt. Because feta cheese is a very salty cheese, I'm gonna suggest you to put some sort of half of sea salt. If you have normal salt, you can put 1 teaspoon, and then you will be needing 1.5 spoons of sugar, and then I have this baking soda, and this is 30 grams, so I will be using 15 grams, almost half of it. Okay, and now I'm gonna be mixing basically our liquids and the milk, everything that we actually need before our flour. Alright, so you need to be mixing it very well. You don't want to see any clots, any clumps. And now you're going to take 4 cups, slowly putting it in and mixing it. So I'm going to be adding slowly. You don't want to overload your mix by putting the flour immediately at once. Continue doing this for other 3 cups. Now I'm using a flour for all uses. Every time your flour may vary. So make sure that when you see that the mixture is getting to your hands without getting sticky, then it is ready. So I'm gonna proceed by putting more flour. Continue the mixture with the mixture slowly as we did before. Alright, so try to continue mixing it. So basically the rule when we have the cups, try to use the same cups for your milk, for your olive oil and for your flour, so you calculate equally. Now I use a little bit bigger cups because I do not want to be messy here, but it's good for you if it's your first time making any dough to use the same exactly materials. Now I'm gonna take it out a bit and work with it here and make it a little bit as a ball. What we need is to make sure that we will make it rest. You see now it doesn't actually get into my hands, it's not sticky, it looks already fluffy. So we're gonna leave it there, rest for 20 minutes now. And meanwhile, we're going to prepare our oven. So we're gonna leave now our dough here for 20 minutes and we're gonna pre-warm our oven at 180 degrees and we're gonna let this sit and come back. Alright, so now we have everything on the table. We got our dough, we got our filling, and we got our egg yolk. So now we're gonna take our dough, who is very pretty now, and just leave this on the side. And we're gonna leave it here and add a bit of flour so it doesn't get stuck. And what we're gonna be doing is, depending, you can cut it or you can just do like this. And it's gonna come out in small portions like this. And you're gonna work with it. Look how it is not sticking on my hands. It's a great dough. Work with it a bit and take this and try to make it longer from both sides. You're gonna be astonished how flexible this dough is. It could become very big. You could make them smaller. So see, only with one rolling. And what I love about this dough is honestly, it doesn't stuck. What I would suggest is not to make them very, very wide. You're gonna take part of the filling. My suggestion again is that, you know, with the filling it gets tricky. When you have it here, it might look a lot, but when you actually make it later on, it looks like it was empty. So then you have this beautiful thing. Have it here, perfect, and then you're going to be, if it has some excessive flour, don't worry because we're gonna put on the top the egg yolk, so it's going to smooth it. Look, that's ready. And I'm gonna be using here some of this baking paper so it doesn't get stuck, and I'm gonna be putting it at the back. And that's our second one. See, they become perfectly, because the dough helps a lot, guys. It's actually a wonderful dough. It is very easy to work with. Alright, so we have here most of them, and I'm going to pour some egg and I'm gonna try to put it go everywhere. Minutes inside the oven. Alright, so after 25 minutes, as I promised, we have about 11 here and some others inside the oven. As you guys can see, we can have them in a longer version and a shorter, depending how you want to serve them. And I'm gonna try to open one for you to see how they look inside. Delicious. You could still see how hot they are. You see, feta is actually melting inside, so it is really nice, and you could see how the cheeses are coming out. Yeah, it's absolutely delicious. Here, and how I really like to eat this, guys, is as you could see. So what I like to do from my childhood is to actually cut one half. You see? Oh, it opens perfectly. And add some tomatoes in there, something fresh. I salted these cherry tomatoes. And make it as a perfect sandwich. Alright, let me try. My taste of childhood. So guys, if you like this video, Don't forget to subscribe here, give it a thumbs up, and see you next Wednesday. Thank you. Bye.